know, but it would be nice to cap
And
it
like I
off
said,
fireworks.
they're totally open, and they would do any day that we tell them. Obviously, a lot of communities just pull the plug completely, and we're one of the few that pays so far in advance. A lot of them basically hand them a check the night they show up for fireworks. We get a discount for doing the way we do. This year it's kind of a pain in the butt, so. But yeah, if we want to do, if we can get another date picked, cool. You know, Butch had mentioned maybe New Year's Eve, something, I don't know, I mean, they're open for anything we want to do. They want to keep us happy and keep us flying.
How about the first day of school, 6 a.m.? Wake up, it's time.
Okay, thank you. I know Sandy,
Well, yeah, I might reach out to you. Just-
yeah,
Yeah, that's
we'll
cool.
work on it.
Okay.
Sandy?
Yeah, I submitted the original invoice for planting of my tree, and I'd like the city to consider reimbursement of it and remind them that I saved them $130 by planting it myself instead of having.
We approved
Did
for
you?
your tree, yeah.
Okay,
Yeah.
that's what I wanted to know,
Yeah.
thank you.
Thank you. And Wood Nickel?
Yeah, we had originally before COVID planned on trying to do like a cruise night, thinking maybe like tractors, somewhat like the Crooks Parade. We're undetermined on a date really and what it looks like, but it's my understanding that we have to have approval from the city to do kind of a cruise night. It would be a one-time thing, unlike, it was not like a bike night or a Thursday Night Thunder. It would just be probably, I'm thinking probably by now it's in August, on a Friday night, maybe a Saturday night. But what information would you like from us in order to do, what information do you need from me? Like I said, we're very initial in planning. I don't foresee it being huge or disruptive.
I think we just need to coordinate as far as any street blocked off, we keep a fire lane open,
Okay.
that's pretty much.
Maybe that could be.
We
a
could
day
even,
that
after
into
hearing what you-
fireworks. I mean,
Yeah.
if we pick a day, maybe
Well,
we can turn
yeah.
into
Maybe
Yeah.
you
two things
guys,
happening in
Right,
one day.
exactly.
maybe you guys can talk about
Because I
it.
think from a city perspective, as far as that, it would just be a matter of, does anything need to be, maintained
Blocked
fire, and then making sure that there's nothing that
Okay.
needs to be blocked off or road
Okay.
closed or. But, I mean,
But like I said, we don't really have a pattern of where we'd like to go exactly yet. I just didn't want to miss the opportunity of being August coming up so soon.
I don't-
So,
yeah, no.
can she just let
Can I let,
us know at the office?
So I don't see, I guess I don't know if it's any different than what we did when we had, we called it, when we did that one here in town. What was that? I don't even know who organized that. When we did the cruise around
The
town.
fire department did
Oh.
all that.
No, we did that one.
oh,
That was the hot rod cars, yeah, that was for COVID, but.
Like, it was just the,
Yeah,
kind of that same concept.
yeah, kind
Right.
of, the cars and the
yeah,
tractors.
yeah,
Yep.
COVID recovery,
So,
post-COVID.
Yeah.
do we require it?
I'm not aware. I mean, unless you're closing a road, I'm
Yeah,
not
we
aware of
wouldn't be
anything that would
closing any
require any
roads.
sort of permit or anything.
Okay, well, if you just want to let us know and
Okay,
maybe
we definitely will.
we can
Mhm.
make people aware of it.
Okay.
Okay, anybody else open comments? All right, other business, Andy, park report.
All right, we had held our meeting June 24th outside the community center that night. We had several things on the topics that we wanted to talk about. One of those was we had talked about planting flowers at Sunset Park around some posts and around the concession stand. And I know I talked to Butch a couple days after that and said the plans were in the works with flowers, so
They're in.
perfect. I've been on vacation for 10 days, so I hadn't had a chance to get down there and look yet. Good job. I don't know who planted it. Did you
Well,
plant them?
I oversaw Sarah Vandervliet and Tri-Valley FFA, and I was gonna bring that up when we get to volunteers under other items and recognize them. But, yeah, so Judy Pearson and Ron donated flowers, and I think Rob Reuter had some, and so they got planted around the concession stand around the new sign, and then by each scoreboard and by the new flagpole. By the way, the flag is up on the new pole at Sunset.
We had talked about the New Hope dugouts, the roofs on the dugouts. When they originally did the dugouts, they didn't put a drip edge coming down off the roof. So when the rain comes down off the roof, it comes up underneath the metal and hits the wood. Those wood dugouts roofs are starting to rot away, and we had talked about getting that put into the budget to at least cover the materials for next year and try and get those done up before season starts next year. We had also talked about, of course, the new development in the park. We had a couple questions about that, whether, since it's a new development, if they were required to donate so much land to put into a park.
They're required.
5%, isn't it? 5% of the acres?
Yeah, or they can
Or donate
write
money
a
and
check.
move.
So that was one of the other things we had talked about, so that's good to know that. And then we spent a little bit of time talking about, for the last 6 years, Chad and I have led this board, and I've had a discussion with Butch, and we've talked about it before, where I think as far as a board, this needs to be a citizen-led board, with me or whoever is the Parks Board Chairman be a liaison to the city council. We only had myself and 3 other individuals at the meeting, but they all felt that sounded like a good idea. And we'll be having our next meeting on the 21st of July, which will be next Tuesday in the community center, unless there's another conflict. Okay. 7 o'clock in the community center here. Maybe we can talk a little bit more about that. We'd really like to get more people in the community involved, and maybe people that aren't involved in anything else and want to get their voice heard. If we're going to get another 5% over here, another big check for something going on, it'd be nice to have more input. July 21st, 7 o'clock, community center here.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Jacob, street report.
Time to report on Streetwise. As far as the county goes, we finally got some asphalt on our mill surface out here. They didn't quite finish all the way down to County Highway 130, but by the end of Wednesday, the road should be paved out to the interstate, so that'll be nice to finally have that done. I would like to suggest microsurfacing on West Ave next year. It's getting to the point where if we don't get it covered up with a more minor surfacing, we're probably gonna have to do a major rehab here in the next couple of years. So just would suggest putting down a micro next year to keep that water out, and then probably a year or 2 after that, we'll have to go through and crack seal it. But as far as crack seal goes, DGR is in discussions with the contractor about fixing the crack seal out there, and I think a deduct on that contract probably makes more sense, and then we'll pay for the microsurfacing in the future years. But I figure it's probably just under 60,000 to have that micro from city limit to city limit. That'd probably be a good budget number.
Okay, I'll add to it. Thursday, we'll have a mini excavator here, so we'll patch the street by pumping stuff, get that fixed. And we'll also work on the storm drainage at Sunset that was brought up by Mike. We'll start getting that looking better and ready to park cars on. And we'll do some other street patching, but probably later this summer. We'll get this main one here, but we've been shorthanded all summer. Gary didn't come back to help mowing. weeks ago, I think, hurt his shoulder. He's still waiting for an MRI, so all he can do is mow. So pretty much left Chad and then me doing what I can do. So we're getting stuff done, but it's a little bit slower this year, so.
It might be worth advertising for some help for the rest of the summer. I think there's probably some people that are stuck at home right now that might be available to help out.
Just on like an as needed
Yeah.
almost, or?
Yeah, because there's some projects out there I think we want to get done, so that might not be a bad idea.
So your suggestion would be to put an ad in the shopper or just on our website, Facebook, or you know, I don't want to, if it's just local and we can use our Facebook and website, it saves us a lot of money from advertising.
Sure. I mean, it doesn't hurt to try it first.
I know we want to open it up if we do it. We've had some possibilities of some part-time people, but it just, for whatever reason, there's more money to be had, even for 16-year-olds in Sioux Falls, getting 18, 20 bucks an hour these days. So they gotta run a shovel.
Huh?
Well, I mean, you can't get them to lose. I mean, Facebook advertising free.
Yeah, I mean, I just want to make sure you guys know that's what we do.
Oh, yeah, I'm just saying that
Okay.
we want to try to get a couple for a chance to get some part-time help that help with mowing or whatever it is.
Okay. Any more with planning and zoning, Scott?
Yeah, I do. Finish up my notes here. So we were requested to hold a regular meeting. The meetings have been, kind of had a hodgepodge of meetings, some special meetings, and if there's been no reason to have a scheduled meeting, I generally cancel because it saves the city about $300 if there's no official business. So if you ever hear questions about why we don't hold regular meetings, because sometimes there's no official business. So we have a request from Mike Banworth. He owns the old rodeo property, which is, if you take Main Street and head east, go dead end right to his property, just beyond the elevator property. So we've been in discussion, I've been in discussion with Mike since he bought the property. I don't know, it's been a couple of years now, we've been having conversations about the logistics of how to subdivide that, what that looks like for him, what his responsibility is as the owner of that, and now entering into a subdivision plan. He's getting closer, he has some interested parties that are interested in buying a couple parcels out there. So his plan right now is to divide it off. I believe what I saw for the concept had 5 different lots on it. But I've had to explain to Mike, and we're still trying to figure out how to work it all. There's been some requests to do some temporary infrastructure. Myself and Butch and Jacob went down and met at the property and just looked at how it would lay out, what the responsibility would be for the contractor. I've explained to Mike that he will have to follow like anybody else would have to, any other contractor. As you subdivide, there is cost associated with subdivision. So discussed with Mike possibility in the future of a community access grant because it is industrial and with the commercial-esque layout that it'll have, it's a possibility to do that. But ultimately, we had a meeting at the regular scheduled meeting in front of the board. Mike explained to us what he wanted to do. We then had the conversation with Mike that we will follow the plan the same as anybody else has had to follow, any other developer. So I think we have an understanding of how we move forward. So Mike basically has given us a concept plan if he so chooses. So that basically gives him a layout. He understands what we need as a city to move forward. He's going to start looking at what the cost of putting infrastructure in, contacted the city attorney at looking at what the options are to do a special tax assessment for the infrastructure, because it will also have implications for the gentleman that owns the elevator also. Some logistical issues with the elevator as they decide to demo that is one of the buildings is partially in the street right away. And also part of the old elevator is in the railroad setback, so railroad right away. So there's some problems, but we always knew as we move forward that we were gonna have to extend Main Street to start to do some development. He's getting a little more serious about that, so he's gonna put pen to paper and see if that's cost effective. So it's moving forward, but there's still a lot of unknowns with that. So that's what we covered at our meeting, had a regular meeting on the 29th of June. Also, some peripheral items that I've been working on outside of in the official business. So we've got 2 replats in the work. One replat is gonna be for along 4th Street with the option to do some twin homes in there along those lots. Still waiting for the CHRC to submit those. Also, got a replat for the future daycare property. Thank you, Jacob, for catching the verbiage issue on that. So that's going back to the drawing board just to fix a clerical issue on that. So we